Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Marvel Plus podcast. My name is Bret, aka Enigma911, and you can catch this podcast live over on twitch.tv/Enigma911 every Sunday at 7 p.m. Eastern. Join the chat if you're a subscriber over there. We'd love to have you in on all the fun theory talk and questions and whatever and discussion about the show. But if you can't catch it live, that's a-okay. Go over to YouTube the very next day where it drops over on the Enigma 911 channel at noon Eastern. You give it a watch over there and join us in the comments. We'd love to have you. All right. So, new show, new overlay, new intro bar or name bar. Everything's new. We got a new show dropping. Just started airing this past week as of recording. We got the Miss Marvel show starting up. And we're going to be talking Miss Marvel episode 1 today, simply labeled Generation Y. Interesting start to the show. I mean, makes perfect sense. This is a big intro episode. We need to learn who the hell Kamala is, what's going on in her life, why should we care about her story, and that's exactly what this episode did. Nothing too groundbreaking or tense situations yet to, kind of keep the series going or, explain what's going to be the main antagonist this whole time. It was more of just info dump. Here's your character, what's her deal, let's go from there. Kamala will probably be new to a lot of audiences, duh. She's a more recent character in terms of the grand scheme of things, but if you've played, I know this is going to get mixed reactions, but if you played the Avengers game that was released on Xbox One and PlayStation 4, Kamala pretty well, and I will say this series so far has kind of captured a very similar character from her, similar tone with her fandom and her relationship with her dad, so you kind of know her pretty well, but here they're going to lay it all on the ground for the rest of the people who haven't played that game, and if you haven't, I don't blame you. Got mixed reactions. Story was good, rest was yeah. So we're going to get a little bit of an animated opening, kind of giving this explanation for Kamala and what she does, and it seems like she's a YouTuber, or at least she makes a lot of videos about her fandom of the Avengers, of different heroes. She's currently working on a 10-part series about Captain Marvel and explains how she's had to do extensive research about that and talks about the events of Endgame and how Captain Marvel came in, swooped in, saved them at one point, destroying Thanos' ship, along with landing a blow on Thanos and helping the whole situation there. During this, we do get a little drop that apparently Scott Lang, Ant-Man, has a podcast as well that she's kind of referenced and used as a source, so kind of funny there. And through the animation style, we also learn that there is an Avenger Con coming up in New Jersey that she wants to attend. So we get a whole lot of info dump there. So we're going to open up with her after she's done editing. She's going to take her driver's test. And parents, kind of reaffirm her of all the things she needs to do and try and, they're very protective of her. So she goes in, she's confident, she knows what to do. Unfortunately, car's in reverse. She blasts it and wrecks the driver's ed, I don't know, wrecks their car, so fails her driver's test. So this is probably our big episode or problem of the episode, because if she was able to get her license, her and her friends are going to be able to go to AvengerCon, no issues, no problems, whatever. She'd have her license, she'd have the freedom to go to the event like she wanted to. So we'll get the actual opening from there, and then we're going to start kind of getting more, explore the relationship between her and her parents a little bit more. In this situation, her parents are trying to defend her against the examiner, saying like, oh, did she not check this enough? Did she not do this? Blah, blah, blah. It's not her fault. And then her mom is going to be apologizing to Kamala and blaming herself as they drive home. And this will eventually lead to Kamala in school. So now we're going to see her relationship at the school, what's going on with her life there. Apparently things aren't super great. She has a healthy relationship with her friends, one which we'll talk about and with quite a bit in this episode, Bruno, but then we get another friend who we kind of just get glimpses at. I don't know if she'll make a more prominent appearance in the series later on, or if this was just kind of explore and show that it's not just these two only on the adventure. Who knows? But anyway, she's having a rough time at school. She's having a tough time in gym class. She's got a bully that bothers her. Apparently, classwork's like not the best. And she has a little kind of conversation with a guidance counselor, it seems. And he's kind of just like, you got to focus up. This is your junior year. You got to, the usual spiel that guidance counselors give you. Obviously, they want you to do well. They want you to kind of lay down the groundwork for what your future is going to be. But it's the whole conversation like, you need to figure out what your future is now. And it's like, oh, okay. And they mention, like, she kind of spaces out. She's a daydreamer, which we see here as well with some aspects of the clock or Miss Marvel, like artwork will be flying by, this kind of animated feature. So we see her passion lies other places. Yeah, she's flaky with school. Exactly. So we'll see that. So obviously we know she's having an interesting time at school. Not the best relationship there. Her aspirations, once again, lie other places. And her goals, obviously, currently, are AdventureCon. So they're focused on going to AdventureCon, her and Bruno, because obviously they're big fans. Kamala has big aspirations for her Captain Marvel cosplay. They've been working on it for a while. Bruno's helped out through some tech stuff and some airbrushing and whatnot. Apparently, Kamala's learned how to sew just for this. So the convention is very important to them, and they have that goal. So, as we discussed earlier, Kamala doesn't get her license. She doesn't have the freedom of choice there of, hey, I can drive, we can go to the convention. So Bruno's like, all right, well, ask your mom, Obviously, it's going to be a little bit rough, but, ask her. So the two are going to leave school. And as they're leaving, they're kind of talking about future cosplays that they'll do. A bunch of Captain Marvel, variants, essentially. Like, there was a Doctor Strange one, there was a zombie Captain Marvel, just a bunch of different ways that she can present the character. Obviously, Captain Marvel is her favorite. So she returns home. We get a quick little Easter egg. She's watching a movie on TV, or at least you get a glimpse of it. I believe that movie was Scott Pilgrim, which features Brie Larson in it. So a little haha, wink, wink, nudge, nudge there, because obviously same actress who plays Captain Marvel here. And this is where we start sowing the seeds of, something's going on. So Mom gets a package from Grandma. Grandma's trying to get rid of her stuff before she passes away. ? Junk, essentially, is how the mom puts it. So Kamala's looking through the box, and she's going to discover a bracelet. And with this bracelet, Kamala asks about it, obviously observing at it, looking at it fondly. And the mom is going to give it this kind of tense look and essentially reclaims it, says it's junk, and tells Kamala's brother to put all of it upstairs. Okay, interesting. So now the two are going to go on errands. We're going to see a little bit more of a tense relationship between her and her mother. Her mother, once again, very possessive and kind of traditional in their ways. We see a whole scenario run down where her and another woman are kind of gossiping about someone's niece who was supposed to get married, but she backed out of the wedding and decided to go travel Europe to discover herself, and they're not for that, while Kamala's like, hey, that's good for her. So nothing really other than that in the errand scene, just kind of once again exploring this relationship. The two are going to return home from the errands, and we're going to see Bruno's helping out Dad with some of his tech. Apparently Bruno's big on making stuff, so he's made kind of like an Alexa or other voice operating systems to kind of control everything around the house. Cable, lights, whatever. Everything tech. And Bruno asks, hey, did you ask your mom about the convention? Obviously Kamala says no, it didn't come up. And Kamala's going to finally ask her parents about AdventureCon. And mom doesn't trust her. Dad does, but he doesn't trust other people. So mom, once again, being very protective, is like, no, don't want you going out doing, hooligan things, being all dressed inappropriately, whatever. Like I said, very, very protective. So essentially, no, can't go to the convention. And obviously Kamala's not super happy about this. Kamala goes up to her room, deals with it herself. Eventually her brother is going to come in, and he offers to help. Hey, I respect what you tried to do. Probably not the best way to handle it. I'll talk to mom and dad, see if I can help you. So it's nice to see that Kamala and her brother, I don't think I caught his name, have a healthy relationship. It's not this just butting heads, normal sibling stuff. So nice to see that. We're going to see a whole text exchange between Kamala and Bruno through various lights and artwork, which I thought was a very cool way to present it, about the situation, about the negative reaction, and they're going to move from there. So now the next day arrives. Kamala's trying on her cosplay. Looks good. She's a little bit wary in confidence in herself. She's going to kind of look at herself and not feel great, so she's going to add a sash kind of around her waist. And this is going to harken out and get a shout out to the more traditional costume that Miss Marvel wears. As she's doing this, parents are going to knock on the door, or mom is, and she's going to provide a solution to this. Says she can go to the convention under a few conditions. Dad's going to go with him for 2 hours, and her and her dad and she has to dress a certain way. Her dad busts in. He's cosplaying as the Hulk, all painted up, a garb on. Looks good. It is cheesy, but like he's trying his best to connect and be flexible for what his daughter wants to do in her interests. Kamala's humiliated. This is going to obviously make her parents upset. Disappoints her dad. She realizes this and, doesn't feel great herself, but those are the stipulations that her mom laid out because she's not going to agree with them. She can't go, and dad says she's not going because obviously they're not going to dress up together. So, rough spot there. So, Kamala, stressed out, talks to Bruno once again. The two go meet at, I don't know if it's his apartment or his home, meet up on the roof of his building. And Bruno's very supportive of what she wants to do, obviously the convention, and her aspirations to, essentially it seems like she wants to be a hero, or at least she wants to help people out. And the two have a moment there. They quickly kind of shake themselves out of it, and Bruno kind of presents to her one more piece to her cosplay. He's made like these gloves that kind of glow up to kind of give like a little bit of effect, like she has some kind of powers. And the two will play fight, we'll pan out, and we'll move on to the next thing. More troubles at school. We kind of go really quick at that. Nothing really too much to say there. And we go back at home, and we still see the relationship still a little bit hostile between her and mom. Dad's talking to the tech. He's having issues. And now Kamala's going to get an idea from the tech of something that she can do in order to attend the convention. So she goes through this whole montage, artsy presentation, talking to Bruno of what her plan is. How she's going to talk to her brother to kind of help her boost herself. She's going to make a believable excuse. She's going to leave her room, and the tech is going to kind of try and create a barrier between her room and her parents, whether she's changing, doing an assignment, whatever it is. The tech is going to provide this protective barrier to keep her cover. She has it all planned out, down to the time. We're going to make the bus. We're going to, go there for a few hours. We'll return just before her parents check in on her, before she goes to bed. And, they have some fun with it. The two tease that they're going to ride their bikes and jump over a bridge onto the bus or whatever. But she has her plan. So Bruno says, okay, this sounds great. You still haven't finished your costume, though. Apparently Kamala's missing this one aspect, which he kind of alludes to earlier. And Bruno suggests maybe add something that's Pakistani, to your costume. Maybe that'll make you feel a little bit more like it'll give you that edge from everybody else. It's something unique. So we're going to see Kamala go to the attic, reclaim the bracelet from the box, and she's going to add that to her costume. So now it's the day of AvengerCon. And this plan, well, pretty well formulated, unfortunately is not going as planned. They're running a little bit late. She's able to leave the dinner table, make a compelling excuse for some school assignment. She's going to jump out the tree with her costume and everything. The tree branch is going to snap and she's going to fall, but she's okay. And the two will attempt to make it to the convention. Unfortunately, they've missed the first bus. They'll make the next one, which they barely do. And they'll also, unfortunately, going to leave Kamala's bike outside of the bus, not being able to take it on because the bus driver apparently is just like, nope, we're going. So, already a rocky start to this adventure. But then the two are going to have a blast because they're going to arrive at the convention, not in costume, but they're just going to have a time. We get this whole kind of montage going around the convention. We see a lot of different fun booths and attractions that they can do. We have the Captain America song from Captain America 1 when they were doing the army trips when they first enter. We're going to see some artwork based on Endgame and America's Ass. We see an homage, kind of like a tribute to Iron Man and Black Widow for their sacrifice for Endgame. And then an interesting one that I kind of had to pause and go back to a few times, but there was tours for New Asgard, so nice there. We're going to get to the Captain Marvel area, and of course, she's going to fangirl and, just really enjoy herself there. So now it's time for the cosplay contest. Why Kamala wasn't wearing her costume this whole time, I don't know. Maybe to keep it a big surprise for the reveal at the contest. Sure. Or maybe just to be comfy. Maybe that's the case. So she goes to change. Well, actually, before she changes, the cosplay contest is announced. Gather here. And we see Zoe, her bully from school, is also in the cosplay contest. Great. Drama. Whatever. So she's a little flustered at this. She goes to the restroom. She's changing. And she prepped the last bit of her items, the bracelet, the gloves, the helmet, stuff like that. She hears final call for the contest, and in a flurry, she tries to get the bracelet on. It's not unlatching. So she takes the bracelet, she takes her helmet, but unfortunately leaves the gloves in the stall. So, struggling with the bracelet, she goes out to Bruno trying to get the last final prep. Bruno asks about the gloves. Where's the gloves? Kamala realizes she doesn't have them. She left them in the bathroom stall. Very last call is being called for the cosplay contest right now, and Bruno says, you know what, don't worry about it. It's A-okay. Do your thing. They get the bracelet unlocked, and this is where it starts to get weird. Bracelet gets unlocked, latches the bracelet on, and Kamala's going to have kind of an experience with this bracelet. We're going to see the bracelet create almost a purple barrier around her, kind of like an aura, almost armor. It goes around her entirely, and then she's going to proceed to faint. As she faints and hits the floor, she's going to transport through the floor to almost like an astral plane of sorts. She's got all these people staring at her, and then she falls again to the floor, back to reality. Snap, there goes gravity. All right. So she kind of does this little 360 to the astral plane and back after she puts this bracelet on. Interesting. I don't know if it's a plane of her ancestors or people who had this bracelet prior and some other aspects later on. Very strange. So, she recoups, puts on the rest of her costume, her cosplay, and she's going to head to the stage. And she's out there, she's on the runway essentially, kind of presenting herself. And she's kind of getting woozy and like all the flashing lights are kind of messing with her head. So she's kind of doing, the whole hand like, it's messing with me there. And when she does this and she throws her hand out in a quick motion, it essentially, like, nailed it. Essentially, it causes a blast to come out of her hand. And these blasts, like, obviously she's scared. She doesn't know what she's doing. The blasts eventually, like, they wow the crowd. They kind of freak them out a little bit. One is going to go and hit an Ant-Man figure in the head. And at first, everybody's like, woo, panicking. And then all of a sudden, woo, that was the best thing ever. Like, this is all planned. This is part of your deal, whatever. Crowd's cheering. The Ant-Man head is going to proceed to fall down now. And it's going to be rolling through the rest of the convention, breaking a lot of things. And it causes a whole chain of events. This wire is going to fall. We have Mjolnir, a big hammer that's going to fall down and swing, hitting Zoe as she kind of freaks out as how Kamala's cosplay is so good. Hits Zoe. She's on the hammer, swinging around, holding on like a monkey. She's eventually going to fall off, and Kamala's going to make the save here. She's going to dive out. We're going to see the purple from the bracelet extend out and extend her arm, similar to the traditional of her powers. She's going to catch her, place her down, and then she's going to retract her arm. Through this, Bruno's freaking out, grabs her in all the panic, and both of them leave. Bruno helps her home, says he's not going to tell anybody about the powers, but then we see what time the two actually got home. Originally, the plan was like 9:20 or something like that was going to be the check-in. They don't get home till 11:11. Yikes. Kamala's going to get back into her room, crawls in through her window. Mom's waiting for her. And Mom lays it in thick. I'm upset with you. You know, you're obsessed with your fantasies. You need to focus on you. This is not who you were raised to be, stuff like that. So she's very disappointed. Kamala's not happy, but in laying down in her bed, focuses again on the bracelet, notices its purple glow, mentions cosmic abilities, and then it's going to end the episode there. So, like I said, a lot of info dump on Kamala, on her backstory here. We're learning a lot about, obviously, her fandom in the Avengers. She's a big fangirl. That's a lot of her trait here is her admiration for them and then kind of shaping her character around, obviously, these heroes and what they do. So this episode's definitely a lot of that. We don't know what the big bad in this situation is going to be, what her opposing force is going to be, unless it's just this kind of relationship with her parents where she wants to be this hero / role model, but it's not traditional in what her parents see. We'll have to see how that goes. On the other side of things, we talked about it before. I don't know if it was here or if it was on stream or whatever. We talked about how they're doing Kamala's powers differently here. For those of you who don't know, as far as I recall, don't quote me on it, but Kamala's powers are cosmic in nature, similar to Captain Marvel's. Captain Marvel, obviously, she, has the super strength, she has the flight, she has, these different abilities. Kamala doesn't have all of those, but somehow she gets the powers originally from her, or her powers from Captain Marvel herself. I don't know if it's a radioactive thing, I don't recall 100%. But she gets her abilities from her. And her abilities are essentially, as far as I know, the super strength and, similar to Mr. Fantastic, the stretching ability. So we do see the stretching ability here, obviously with saving Zoe from the Mjolnir statue or whatever. But I don't know about these projectiles. That's new. Also, how she's getting these powers is very new. How it's this bracelet and not this transfer or creation, spread, whatever you want to call it. So, interesting there. That's going to lead to some other questions. Where's this bracelet coming from? And where did the grandmother get it? Also, with this this astral plane she traveled to, what is this lineage that we're seeing? Are these all former holders of the bracelet? what is that? Is that her family heritage there? Like I said, her ancestors, similar to a Black Panther. A lot of questions up in the air about this bracelet and how that's going to work. But okay, we'll have to see how it plays out. As for the series itself, how they're presenting it, how they're presenting the show, I think it's very cool and artistic in how they're doing it. Obviously, the different art styles, the drawings, stuff like that. I think it's fun. I think it's exciting. And I like how they're presenting Kamala. I think the actress is doing very, very good with what she's doing. And yeah, obviously, like the fangirl kind of thing, that's Kamala. That's, as far as I know, how she's always been presented. So it's nice to see that just stay true to form and how we're chasing that. So Mrs. G in chat is now bringing up the post-credit sequence, which, holy shit, we got a post-credit in the show. We haven't gotten post-credits in like any of the shows, if like one episode at the very end. Holy crap. Really good. I looked for it. So the reason this is a holy crap, nothing really fancy happens except for one thing. And it's not even that big a deal. I'm building this up. So we are going to see someone react to their phone vibrating, and they're at a police station. One detective officer, whatever you want to call them. She's reacting to footage of Kamala at the convention doing the projections. That's weird. Shows it to another cop. That cop says, okay, we're going to bring her in. It's going to cut there. Very short, very simple. Now the build-up moment. Once again, not that big a deal. We have a tie-in for the MCU movies again. The second cop was the cop from Spider-Man No Way Home. No, it's not really that big a deal. Just like, oh shit, it's that guy. So, some connections there. We know that Kamala's from New Jersey. Obviously, Peter's from New York. So there must be some kind of close police station. I don't know. There's been rumors swirling around that maybe this police whole thing in Spider-Man No Way Home was kind of sketchy, because how do you know about Fury? How do you know about Mysterio? How do you know about the drones? Is this a whole scroll thing? I don't know. But it's the cop. I had a question mark about it, like, that guy does look familiar. Then I rewatched the Spider-Man No Way Home trailer, went, oh shit, it is the same guy, same uniform, it's got the 4 letters. So, cool. Tied in that way. We'll have to see how the officers, whether they're police or whether they're something different, how they come into play with Kamala's journey. Yeah, overall, fun episode. Like I said, a lot of building in this episode, not building from the city. Ha ha ha, good joke. Just a lot of building of the character, introduction, things like that. So I'm excited for more. I'm excited to see where this series goes. Obviously, more episodes will be dropping on Wednesday, so we'll keep talking about them here on Sundays, and we'll have some fun there. Hope you guys are enjoying the series so far. This has been another episode of the Marvel Plus Podcast. My name is Bret, aka Enigma911. I appreciate you guys hanging out today. If you want to catch it live, you can always go over to twitch.tv/Enigma911 every Sunday at 7 p.m. Eastern. You can join the chat if you're a subscriber over there for all the fun theory talk and all the Easter eggs and stuff like that. But if you can't catch it live, that's A-okay. Just watch it over here on YouTube. Every Monday, 12 noon Eastern, drops on that Enigma911 channel. So check it out there. Appreciate you guys hanging out today. Hope you guys are enjoying the series. Hope you guys keep watching. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Take care.